Hello, everyone. We got a new format
Hello.
here. Bob looks like a telemarketer, and we have a new
Uh,
format on the live
I'm
stream.
not a telemarketer. I'm going for a TED Talk. This is a roller coaster TED Talk.
We got a new live stream set up here. Looks pretty nice and good. Hopefully, you all can hear
Nice and
me.
good. Nice and good. Good and nice.
Good and nice. Goodly nice.
Good and plenty.
Nicer. Looks nicer.
More nicest.
Hopefully, all the audio is coming through well. If not, let me know, guys. It should be. Looks like it is on my audio end, but you never know whenever I
Wait,
try new
look. How do
things.
you how do you see audio?
All right. Hopefully, you're listening.
If you cannot see our audio or hear our video, please let us know.
I'm gonna listen and see if we can. Oh yeah, okay, we're good. All right, so we're sounding good. All right, that's good. It's episode number 69.
I'm gonna have to switch ears periodically.
Why?
I don't know. It starts hurting my ear after a while. I think I need to use the other sized earbuds, but I'm not gonna. I'm not gonna bother with that now.
So I will tell the live stream audience, since they're kind of here for this behind the scenes content, we are doing a little bit of a different format of the show.
The new format is there's no format.
Yeah, we're kind of leaving the segments
Sort of.
behind because the segments, we don't have really good sounding segment transitions. Like the music is kind of bad, and it was like coaster craze, and then it was like a weird laugh, and then it was me going coaster craze, and I just turned the bass way down so it sounded like I had a deep voice. Yeah, so until we get a more professional sounding audio, we're gonna stick to we're gonna have the intro, then it's gonna be talking, then we're gonna do a break midway through the show, and then we're going to come back. That way we can kind of recharge, and it sounds more professional if you just have a little bit of a break in between the show.
Oh, at the end of the show, we should play. We should play nighty night until tomorrow. Do you know where that's from?
Kennywood, right?
Yeah, I'm proud of you, James. I'm proud of you.
I know somewhat. I know some stuff, Bob. I know.
Well, I know you just haven't been there all that much. I mean, I know you've been there, but
Been there 5 or 6 times actually. So
oh really? I
yeah,
didn't realize you were.
that's like
That's
my
right.
third home park. I call it my third home. Whenever I go to
Yeah.
Pittsburgh, I go there. I've been yeah.
Yeah, I forgot about that. You have family up there.
They have the good night thing like on like the big light.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
I love that. Yeah, it's cool.
I love that they play that song.
It's a relaxing way to end the day.
That and obviously Six Flags opening. Da, 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 da. And then Cedar Fair started doing Phineas and Ferb, I think. Like the song from Phineas and Ferb.
There's 104 days of summer
Yeah,
vacation
something like
and
that.
school
Yeah.
comes along. I've never heard that, so I don't know where you're talking about, but
That was
okay.
the one last year when we were at when we went to Kings Island. That's what they played because we were there. We were actually there at opening.
Maybe just Kings Island,
Um,
because no other Cedar Fair park's ever done that for me.
maybe, but I didn't hear it at Kings Island before. So like I'm thinking it could be a new thing. I
It
don't
might have just
know.
been like a daily thing too.
Well,
Like,
they always Cedar Fair always did the Pledge of Allegiance, and they still did do that.
yeah, they do the Pledge of Allegiance. They do the national anthem. I think
Yeah.
I think
So
that's
they did that, and then they started playing the Phineas and Ferb song. I thought it was kind of cool.
that's
I
kind
kind
of
of like the high energy
like
music that
maybe
kind of like
building a rocket or fighting a mummy
yes.
or
I love
climbing up
Phineas and
the
Ferb.
Eiffel Tower. Discovering something that doesn't exist, or giving a monkey a shower, creating tidal waves, creating nanobots, or driving your sister insane. Phineas. I love that. I love that show.
I do too.
As you can see, there's a whole lot of stuff to do, before school starts this fall. So stick with us because Phineas and Ferb are going to do it all. So stick with us.
Mom!
Mom, Phineas and
Making
Ferb
a
are
title
sequence.
sequence or what
Bam.
is
It's title sequence, yeah.
yeah, that's what I thought. I haven't watched that in quite a while.
How can you watch? You like Phineas and Ferb, but you don't like The Office?
I don't know. I seriously don't know why I couldn't get in the office. It's like I said, I love Office Space.
You gotta
I
watch.
love Office Space.
I think you gotta try it again.
Maybe.
All right. Creating nanobots. All right, so we'll just zoom right on in. I don't know what intro will compose of.
Well, I think for this episode we just use the old intro.
No, I mean like the intro, like of me and you just talking. Like, hello, welcome, I'm James Barber. You're Bob.
Yeah.
I don't know what that's gonna compose of, but
Pam says that you're too loud and I'm too quiet.
all right, I can change that. For once, I'm too loud. That's nice.
Somebody needs to teach Pam how to use the YouTube chat.
Also, you're turned up all the way, so that's your end, I guess.
I can turn my volume up. Let me see. How's that?
I don't
Hopefully we
know.
don't-
Hopefully, you sound loud enough. I don't know.
Yeah, I turned my input volume up, so
All right, you probably sound fine.
yeah, just as long as we don't pick up random noise now. Like my chair creaking. Yeah, it's picking that up now. What was?
Want want. One chair creaking podcast host transfers his over to the next.
I'm taking a picture of the YouTube screen.
We got a question. Where do you guys think the shuttle coaster would rank in Dorney's lineup if that was to happen? I think that would probably be
Wait, what?
the GCI shuttle coaster, Gravity Grip shuttle coaster. If that was to come to,
Oh God, it would be.
that would probably be the best coaster there. I would think.
Yeah.
I
yeah.
think Switchbacks.
I mean,
I have that above.
I like
Force.
Steel Force a lot, but
In my opinion, I think it'd be much higher. I have Switchback at like CDTs at like number 30, and then Steel Force is like 50. So I can't imagine if this was to be 106 feet tall. I can't imagine it not surpassing.
yeah, but that
Steel
106 feet, man.
I think it's pretty likely. All right. I can talk about that. With that, maybe that's how we open it up. Since we did talk about that on the YouTube channel, so I'll say like if you want to hear our full thoughts on the Dorney Gravity Grip shuttle coaster, since that's it's been kind of pushed back. You know, they aren't doing the meeting now, and it's old news. Kind of, it's a week old now. If you want to listen to that, head over to the YouTube channel, check that out, and then we'll be like. In other news, though, we do have some newer we do have some newer things to talk about.
Geauga Lake's reopening.
I was hoping he'd be like, "Yes, James, that's a good way to start the show."
Woohoo! Good job, James. That's amazing.
That's more like it, Bob.
Awesome.
Yes, that's more like it. That's the kind of energy I need. All right, let's
Yeah, you do realize like I have no energy left for the rest of the night now. I'm just gonna take a nap. It's gonna beat me the rest of the podcast.
It's just good night.
Good night.
All right, so we're gonna start the show now. So we've transitioned over to this is the show. We have the new live stream format. So this is the show. When we do the show, we're gonna be in this box, and then the other box is pre-show. We also have a cool one if we're ever gonna need the live chat up, which I don't know when we'll need that, but you know, if we need that ever, we have one like that. So, all right, let us let us start the show. Let's test the microphone volume one more time for you. Test your audio real quick.
Testing my audio. Again, another week of testing my audio. Should I keep testing my audio?
Never mind. Nope, no, you should not because I have it plugged in on mine, so I need to plug in yours. Now you can test your audio.
Hey James, this is just me testing my audio. Hopefully my audio is coming through. But you've been talking to me the whole night, so I assume that my audio is getting through to you okay. Do you want me to continue testing my audio?
That's
Please
good.
press 1 to continue.
If you delete this number. I don't know how you got my number. One of those damn telemarketers.
Did I interest you in a 2-year subscription to
No. To Coaster Talk
Aardvark?
Podcast?
Aardvark magazine? And I wonder if anybody knows that reference. Hey James.
Wow.
James, this is just Aardvark magazine. You probably don't. You're too young.
I do not know what that is. So.
It's from Boy Meets World.
Oh God. I've never watched that show, so.
What? We can't be friends anymore.
I'm aware you have
Tonight's podcast is canceled. Because James needs time to go watch Boy Meets World.
You never watched The Office, so I would hold your tongue.
I at least tried.
Yeah, but you didn't watch the whole thing, so it doesn't count. All right, let me test my audio. Hey, I'm testing my audio for the podcast, episode number 69, April 19th, 2020. This is the introduction, blah, 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 test.
69.
I know, I was thinking about that. Hey, I'm testing my audio for the podcast. Sounds good, sounds crisp, sounds clear. All right, let's start. You ready?
My video is buffering really bad. Is that just me? It could be just me. But it's like not moving at all. It's like stopped.
I get the concept of buffering.
Well, it's not buffering, it's just frozen now.
It's not just you.
Huh? It's not just me?
Apparently not, no.
Oh, well, somebody fix the internet for crying out loud.
I don't know what the issue is here. I'm confused. I don't know why it doesn't come through. I mean,
Probably
I have
just overloaded. The internet is breaking. And even I noticed the video connected. Like the meter keeps turning yellow too.
Yeah, it might just be the internet's overconnected, like you said.
Ooh. I got an alert. Oh, there's a freeze warning.
I don't understand. It was like 80 degrees the past like 2 weeks, and then now it's getting
Sub-freezing temperatures as low as 30 degrees expected. Portions of Maryland and Virginia between the Interstate 81 and 95 corridors, as well as the extreme eastern West Virginia panhandle. From midnight
All
tonight.
right, everyone. I know you didn't tune in for our weather report, but you're getting
it. Yes.
All right.
In case any of you are in the DC area, we have a freeze warning.
I don't think any of them are, Bob.
It's hard to say.
All right. You ready?
I am ready. I think.
Is your name Freddy, though? That's the big question, though, of the night.
We can make it Freddy if you want.
We're going to legally change Bob's name to Freddy, and then we will start the show.
That won't take any time at all with all the government offices being closed. Be pretty quick.
Maybe a couple months at the very...
Yes. Yes. I think that's a good estimation.
All right. You ready?
Ask me if I'm ready one more time.
No.
James, talk into your mic.
I'm talking. What do you? Did someone say not? Is Pam saying that?
No, I just saw that you put it on the show
Oh
notes.
God. I was going to say
I
my
was
mic has been
scroll.
doing so good. If someone's telling me my mic's not doing good right now, I'm gonna kill someone because this is crazy.
I,
I have the
I
settings
was
perfect. It should sound so good right now. It was too loud a second ago. All right.
I was scrolled down in the show notes and I just happened to scroll up and saw that. Okay.
All right. Let's start. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Coaster Talk, your source for everything roller coasters. This is episode number 69. It's the week of April 19th, 2020. I'm your host, James Barber.
And I'm Bob Mertz.
And we have another great week of theme park talk this week. Something that did come up in the past couple weeks was Dorney Park announced, or not announced, but was leaked. Let me see, I fucked it up. I screwed it up. I screwed it up, Bob. That was not good.
If we ever make it through the introduction without having to redo it,
I said announced. They didn't announce it.
they did not announce it.
All right, you ready? I know you're ready. All right, here we go. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Coaster Talk, your source for everything roller coasters. My name is James Barber.
And I'm Bob Mertz.
And this is episode number 69 of the show. It's the week of April 19th, 2020. And we have actually some news to talk about, Bob. As I know the past couple episodes we have...
Awesome.
It's fantastic. The past couple weeks we've been talking about how there's relatively no news in the community, obviously because of this COVID-19 crisis. There's nothing going on in the amusement industry. However, this week we have quite a bit to talk about. And something that did come up earlier last week was that Dorney Park had leaked a shuttle wooden roller coaster. And we already talked about that. It's on the YouTube channel. So if you look up Coaster Talk Podcast on YouTube, you can check out our full in-depth thoughts on that project. That's exciting stuff to talk about. But
Raptor.
yeah, we already talked about and tackled that project. So if you want to hear us talk about that more in depth, we're going to talk about that on the YouTube channel, or we did talk about that on the YouTube channel. This week, however, there is some new news as well, or new topics to discuss, as Cedar Fair actually extended their passes through 2021. So here's in the official statement. They said 2020 season passes and purchased 2020 season passes add-on products are going to be valid for the remainder of 2020, which makes sense. I feel like that's implied. Obviously, the passes for 2020 will still be good for 2020.
You know, if they didn't actually spell that out, that people would be calling like.
So yes, if obviously your 2020 passes are good for 2020. Everyone, calm down. We're okay. However,
it's amazing breakthrough technology.
I know it's crazy. It's groundbreaking news. Additionally, though, they're going to be extending the validity dates for the current 2020 passes through the 2020 season, according to the pass type. So I guess they're going to 2021 season, excuse me, yes. And for 2020 pass holders participating in our Easy Pay program, monthly billing has been suspended as of April 8th, 2020. So April 8th, 2020, all the Easy Pay monthly recharging your payments has been halted and suspended. So you're not going to be paying money for something
until the parks reopen.
Yeah, until the parks reopen. So,
and they also, this is, I don't know if you said this, any of your enhancements to your season pass is also extended.
Yeah, add-on products will be valid for the remainder of
the plan, and I imagine fun picks, and this is also, they said that it is valid on passes purchased after April 14th as well. So you may still have an opportunity to go get in on this deal. I would suspect they're probably going to do this just in general. If you buy a 2020 pass, whenever, it's going to also include 2021. I think this is a really good move for them, because it's kind of trading. Now, granted, they're suspending the payments, but it gives people comfort in actually purchasing their pass. The people that aren't, obviously there are people that can't afford to do it now, but the people that were like, oh, I want to buy my pass, but I don't want to, what if they don't open? This gives them reassurance to go ahead and purchase their season pass and give them incentive. And then that gives them income right now where they really need it, because there is no income. And their trade-off is next year they're losing some of that season pass income, but I'm sure they probably already considered that the season pass sales next year are probably going to be much lower. So it's less that they're trading off, and they'll be open at that point, and they have other sources of revenue. So
Hmm.
I think this is a really good move on their part, and I also like that they're getting in front of this. They're they're the other part. We'll talk a little more about SeaWorld uh, in a little bit, but SeaWorld has always been like the very last moment they're making announcements, and it's really frustrating people. And I mean, even to this day, like people aren't really sure what's going on with their season pass. All I know is they're taking money from me every month, and I don't know what I'm going to get from it. Um, I really like that Cedar Fair is getting out in front of this, saying, "Look, this is what we're going to do." Even Hershey Park, Kennywood, they've extended through halfway through 2021, I think, and I think this is really good. This is something that shows that they're thinking about it and they're not just like sitting on their hands. So props to Cedar Fair.
Yes, and I really do enjoy how this is almost a better time than normal to buy a season pass, because
Yeah,
you're going to get 2020 and then you're also going to get 2021. So even if we don't get 2020 as a season, even if maybe we're opening in fall or even winter or maybe never, you never know what's going on, what could occur in the later dates to come. But just saying, I mean, you're getting pretty much a season and an added on season. So regardless of whether 2020 even happens, you're going to still get another season, because there's no way 2021 you're definitely going to be getting a park season. I can't imagine.
exactly.
So this is a great time to buy a pass. This is, and this gives, like you said, incentive for people to want to
And
do
it really
this.
helps the parks too when they need it, because
Yeah.
there's been a lot of talk like there's government bailouts for a lot of industries, but it doesn't look like the amusement industry is going to get any of that assistance. So we need to be supporting the parks. And I would especially like, I mean, yes, do your Cedar Fair pass now, do whatever passes, but I think we need to also put an extra focus on the independent parks. I know last week I went online and bought a Knoebels gift card, just because, I mean, one, I'll use it, but two, like it gives them money right now when they really need it. And I think anybody that has the means to do that right now, your local park or parks that you really really enjoy and you really don't want to see go away,
Hmm.
it's important to buy stuff from them right now online as much as you're able to do, because I mean it's important. We This may hurt smaller parks in a really really bad way that they cannot recover. And I know like Conneaut Lake, they don't have, you can't buy online, but if I get up there this year, I'm definitely going to buy a season pass, even though I probably won't go back because that park was starting to do so well, and I hate to see, you know, we just need to be supporting
This is a
these
time
parks.
to support any local business or small business at this
Yes,
time, and regardless if it's a park, if it's a restaurant, whatever. This is a good time to do that, because we love these places, we cherish these places, and it would be very unfortunate to see them have to close. They are also said Cedar Fair did announce that they're going to be working with prepaid single day tickets during the time period of the temporary close. So if you purchase a ticket to go, in May or April, they're going to work with you and they're going to figure some stuff out. So they said to contact them, you know, imminently, personally contact them at their contact us page, so you can talk with them about your situation. But they are going to work with
yes.
you if you got a prepaid single day ticket. So again, if you didn't know that, if you didn't read about that, they are going to try to work out something with you guys. So again, if you plan some sort of trip and you're not a Cedar Fair Platinum pass holder or a pass holder at all, and you were planning on prepaying, you already prepaid for your ticket, you are going to get an arrangement worked out, which is great and awesome.
Yeah, and
So
I think that's something to kind of like, if you really think about it, like there's a lot of people that are kind of gun shy of making plans and purchase. But I think most of the parks are going to really honor, and they're going to do their best to honor what you purchased and replace it, refund it, figure out something that works for you. And there's even more good news for people that are thinking they're high and dry on their season passes. The people that bought season passes to Indiana Beach, well, it looks like maybe they might actually get some use out of them.
yes, as Indiana Beach updated their Facebook page with an image, and their other Twitter account and Instagram account with the image of their logo, and how they had said it was permanently closed on their website. They had it listed permanently closed. Indiana Beach is now permanently closed, and they crossed out the permanently part, and they just have the closed part. So for right now, obviously it's closed due to this pandemic. Every park is closed, but they're no
Yeah.
longer permanently closed.
Right. And we don't know exactly what this means. It's kind of a developing story, and it's hard to say what the details
I
are
don't
other
think
than
we've ever
private
had
local
any
land.
official information about Indiana Beach. Whenever we talked about them, it's always been some sort of,
Yeah.
we don't know the full details. We don't know everything that's
But
going
this
on.
this is obviously, I mean, this is on their Twitter, their social media accounts. This is coming from them.
Yes.
And what we do know is that the local government actually is under a non-disclosure agreement, so they're not allowed to talk about what's going on, which means that something is going on.
Yeah.
And the with Apex filing bankruptcy, there's an interesting article on one of the local I think it was one of the local TV stations that explained that it was actually released today. The article it explained that they were entering bankruptcy so that they were in a position to enter into an agreement for somebody else to purchase. Uh, Now, there's some you could debate one way or the other whether somebody bought Indiana Beach or whether somebody bought Apex as a whole. Either way, it's looking good for Indiana Beach, and this excites me because there are so many coasters there that I've wanted to ride and was going to ride this year, and I hope I still get to ride them this year.
Yes, it's great news to hear, and it's finally nice to be official. For so long we were talking about maybe they'll be saved. Hopefully they'll be saved. It looks like they might be saved. Oh, but they might not. We kept going back and forth on whether
Yeah,
or
it was
not
back and forth
it seemed
constantly.
as though they were going to be opening up or not opening up, and it is now official from their own social media pages that they are no longer permanently closing. So someone bought someone
Yeah,
somewhere down the
something
line.
happened.
Yeah, something happened, and Indiana Beach is no longer going to be permanently closed, which is fantastic.
Yeah, speaking of purchasing, if there's any like sane person that has millions and millions and millions of dollars, could you go buy SeaWorld and make it like something that can be appreciated from the corporate level as well?
Yeah.
Uh, this is kind of a weird episode because, as much as James and I both love Cedar Fair, we've had our instances where we're kind of concerned about some of their things, and SeaWorld we've just kind of been ecstatic over and thinking
Hmm.
they're moving in the right direction. And I think from a park perspective, I think they are. They did something this week that I don't really like. They well, obviously SeaWorld furloughed 90% of their workforce. Uh, and the worst part about it was they gave only a few days notice to these people. And it wasn't just like, oh, you're not getting your paycheck. Oh, by the way, your benefits are gone too. If you want your benefits, you have to start paying for your benefits. I mean, it's a really crappy thing to do, but an understandable thing. This is a tough scenario for everybody, and
Hmm.
you get that. You can give them a pass on that. However, this week there was a filing with the SEC, the Security and Exchange Commission, that SeaWorld is providing, I think it's 6 or 7 of their executives with stock. Now, the stock is vested, so they have to remain there for 2 years to get the full value. But most of these people are getting $1 million in stock. Um, and in the actual SEC filing, it says it's basically a reward for the actions that they were taking in COVID-19. So essentially, this is like saying, "Hey, great job on like screwing those 90%, you know, of your workers. And now since we're not paying them, like we'll give you some stock, $7 million worth." Now, no, this isn't just like they're handing them $7 million, and there is the argument that this is, to keep retention. They want the board to stay there. They want these executives to stay there and not leave during this crisis. But at the same time, this is a really crappy look, and
Yeah.
I, it just, especially the fact that they actually put in the SEC filing, like, oh, hey, great job on that COVID-19 thing. Like, that just, it just, it just, it just irritates me. It hurts.
It just is so strange. Yeah, yes, you can do it. Like you said, they want these people to stay during this tough time. We understand that, but like you said, just to word it that way, it's like good job for
Yeah.
just
Yeah,
letting
exactly.
letting all these people go, and yeah, like you're just screwing 90% of your workforce. Great job, guys. So proud of you.
Yeah, it's just a painful thing to see happen. And I mean, again, I understand that everybody's in tough times and they have to make cuts, and people are hurting, and it's just a tough time for a lot of people and a lot of companies, and these companies have to survive. I mean, obviously we don't want to see SeaWorld go completely out of business because they're paying people that aren't working. You have to balance everything, but just this is just a really really bad look for SeaWorld to say, hey, you executives here, here's $7 million worth of stock. And the way it's written is they get 50% if they're still at the company next year, and then they get 100% if they're there in 2 years. But like the top executive, I think, was like $1.5 million in stock. Um, I mean, it's just a lot. Yeah, it's just a bad look.
Yes, it is, and it's just again unfortunate because the past couple episodes, and I mean even further down the line, we've been praising SeaWorld, and they're not living up to those appraisals right now. And I know
Yeah,
it's a tough time for everybody, and it's not fair to say that this isn't affecting everyone because it is. But
yeah,
it's really shining somewhat of a light on SeaWorld, and I think they have to be more aware of that. Again, you can do what you did, but again, like we've said, phrasing it as an award or as an approval or as a good job,
right.
that just gives a very
And even for
sly.
me as a customer, as a platinum member,
Mm-hmm.
right now they are taking $30 out of my bank account every year, or out of my
Every
debit
month.
card every month. Yeah, every month they're taking $30, and all I've been told is that they're going to extend that the amount of whatever they're closed. But at this point, I'm being extended into my pass expires on January 4th. So I'm being extended into the area that Busch Gardens Williamsburg is closed. So like what am I my $30
Mm-hmm.
every month is what's that going towards? I mean, yes,
Exactly,
feeding some animals,
and
and then the stock for the executive. I it doesn't feel right. I mean, you've got Cedar Fair that is saying, "Hey, let's pause these payments. People are hurting," and SeaWorld's like, "No, we're,
the
we're
problem
still
is
taking it."
SeaWorld doesn't communicate at all with its with its
Right,
with
that's
its
the other
with
big
its
thing is
clientele, and
they
and
don't.
and that's a problem, especially because they have parks that are year round, and then they have like Busch Gardens Williamsburg. They need to. I think Busch Gardens Williamsburg as a park needs to communicate with us because I remember when they announced they were going to close, the message came out and everyone was like, "Hey, Busch Gardens Williamsburg's probably going to open because the date says whatever." So
Right,
they have this
exactly.
problem though where they try to do this whole universal thing, and they don't try to. They need to do it on an individual park basis, and they need to actually have the teams that are still employed. Talk to their clientele, talk to their people about what's going on and what's happening.
Right,
That's how you
exactly.
run
And
a
I mean,
company. I don't think you
there's
need. I don't think you need to have this whole like SeaWorld Entertainment is doing this. Just
well,
have
I mean,
Busch
I think
Gardens
to an
email me.
extent you need to do that. But the problem is I think that like Busch Gardens Williamsburg just rubber stamps it and just like, I mean, that's what we saw on Twitter. They literally took the exact same thing that apparently didn't apply to their park. They copied and pasted it and
Yeah,
put it out there, and it was wrong, and it misled people to the point that it was less than 12 hours before people were going to be showing up for member preview that they finally got the word out to certain aspects of, oh wait, by the way, no, Busch Gardens Williamsburg isn't opening, and like that's poor. And then they should have done that earlier in the week to begin with. Like you,
hmm
it was just a cluster because of the communication thing. And I mean,
yes,
I'll say this: like SeaWorld or Busch Gardens Williamsburg has the worst social media. Like they keep posting things to Twitter and they ignore everything. Like they, it's I've never you there are some really really good Twitter accounts like Kentucky Kingdom. I mean everybody. Knobles is on top of it. Even King's Dominion is on top. King's Island, like Cedar Point, Tony Clark's on there. Like there's a lot of
yeah.
interaction, and Busch Gardens doesn't even bother to interact with their fans on Twitter. It's just the communication is even. dead to that level.
The point of
where
social media is
it's to
to connect with
social.
people, connect with people, be social. And yes, I'm not a huge fan of parks that don't do that. They just post
I'd
promotional
rather them not even
images.
have a Twitter
Yeah,
account.
exactly. Just there's no point in even having it at that point. You just post
Yeah.
promotional images. Oh, this is happening, that's happening. But then when people are like, "What's going on here? What's going on there?" Nothing. And then the next post
Yeah,
is,
exactly.
"Hey, here are the top 3 things that you can do when the parks reopen." It's like, but what about what's going to happen before the parks reopen? Nothing. We look
Yeah.
forward to seeing
Well,
you when the parks reopen, but when are the parks going to
even in that
reopen?
right, even when they were that whole cluster that came out with the when they closed, there were like tons of tweets to them saying, "Wait, does this mean that you're opening this weekend?" And it was out like it was like at least an hour before anything was that there was no response to any of those tweets. Nobody like said, "Oh, wait. Oh, but no, this is." They never replied to any of that.
Yeah,
It was
it,
like it was later that they went, "Oh, wait, we better post a new image and delete the old tweet." Like,
it's
well, that's not
unacceptable.
people already read that. They might not be going back to Twitter. I mean, not everybody lives on Twitter all day.
Hmm.
So it makes me wonder how many people actually showed up to the park that Saturday morning.
I
I
would,
guarantee at least some did.
I would not be surprised either. I mean, I was, I was ready to do it, regardless of knowing that they weren't going to be open. uh, I was,
Yeah.
I
I
was
mean, I'm excited for where SeaWorld's going, but like there's a lot of these things they need to get under control because they can't run on just the hey, we're building coasters. That's important and that's their biggest draw right now. But if they don't improve these other aspects, it's not gonna they're not gonna sustain what they have going for them right now.
and it's almost a level of respect that we have for them that's kind of been degraded through this. A lot of
Yeah,
good parks
exactly.
are doing a good job at keeping their people up to date, keeping everyone up to date, and just doing a good job of communication. And this is just showing that
Everybody
either
is. I can't think of another park that's not do like everybody's really be. I mean, yes, there's some delay because they have to get their ducks in a row, and that's understandable. But like, it's like SeaWorld's just not even paying attention to anything.
it's almost like they're like, we need to focus on our money. We don't care about the pass holders right now.
Yeah,
Yeah, it is just it's not a good look for them. Hopefully things get sorted out and we can forget about this if hopefully this crisis ends and everything's uplifted. But that is something that they need to continue. They need to look to improve on and continue to improve on in the future. And hopefully they will. Hopefully that's something that they are trying to fix. Hopefully that's something they realize. And hopefully that's something that they are going to try and fix in the future because this has definitely shown that they have a little bit of a problem in their communications and sales and that kind of
yeah,
department here.
and their image to an extent.
Yeah, their image is
But
being slowly degraded.
the good news is there is a park that is really good at social media
Hmm.
and really good at interacting with their fans,
Yes.
and it's another shining example of an independent park, Kentucky Kingdom.
Yes, Kentucky Kingdom was founded and opened on May 23rd, 1987, which it had 10 acres then, and it's
It's
grown
grown a little
to
bit.
what?
It's grown a little bit.
Yeah, it has. And and all right, now I'm kind of messed up there.
Uh,
You messed me up. I thought you were correcting
I'm
me.
sorry.
I thought you were saying like, no, that's not true. It was 10.3 acres, James.
That's exactly.
All right, let's restart that. Let's see where we were. A problem. Third, 1987, which it had 10 acres then, and it's grown to. Here, I'll just restart my thing because I didn't really in that kind of department here. So you said, what did you say? You were like, there is a good park. What is it? Let me hear what you said.
Something grown a little bit. That does this, does this, does this. It's grown a little bit. Kentucky Kingdom. And then it went to you.
I'm gonna listen to it. Just
There is a park that is really good at social media and really good at interacting with their fans, And it's another shining example of an independent park, Kentucky Kingdom. And people on the live stream were aware of the freezing and stuff. There's not really too much we can do about it, though. Unfortunately, the internet is busy right now. Everybody's at home using the interwebs.
All right, you ready?
Yep.
Yes, Kentucky Kingdom opened up on May 23rd, 1987, on a plot of land 10 acres long. That doesn't make any sense. 10 acres long. 10 acres. I don't even know what you'd say.
10.3 acres, James.
What is the verb there? 10 acres what? 10 acres. What is acreage? Acres large, I guess? 10 acres large?
Yeah. Yeah, I guess that's the best.
I'm not even.
I mean, it works better. You could say something
on a 10 acre. On a 10
acres. On a 10 acre plot.
Yeah, okay, on a 10 acre plot of land. All right. Yes, Kentucky Kingdom opened up on May 23rd, 1987 on a 10 acre plot of land, and it was an extension of the Kentucky State Fair. However, it would soonly, oh my gosh.
It would soonly be bought by Cedar Flags.
And then transferred to the galaxy of Wakanda. And then time travel back and catch a ride on the Beast, and then come back to the present day. And I don't know. I don't even know what I'm talking about. All right, I'm just going to do that extension of Kentucky Fair. And then Ed Hart would purchase it. And then Six Flags would purchase it. And then Ed Hart would purchase it back. And then we're back to the future.
Back to the Future?
All right.
That was a good ride at Universal. Oh, what'd I do? Hold on. I don't know what's going on. I broke something. Ah! I got windows going everywhere except where I want them.
Windows 10?
No.
Dun-dun-dun.
God, no. Only crazy people run Windows. What is going on?
Yeah, because Linux.
Linux is awesome, man.
I loved that video came up. Does Linux make you have an elitist attitude?
Yeah, did you watch the video?
Yeah, a little bit of it.
It explained it. Because it said, because we are. All right, I think I almost got. Hold on, one more second. There's that. And
I don't think it's elite. I think using something just because it has a small percentage of people using it doesn't mean you're elite. It just means
no,
that.
That's not. See, you didn't listen to the whole.
That's what he said. He said because we're a small portion.
He did, but that was like. There was other aspects to it.
All right, I'm not going to talk about that right now. That's off-topic podcast material. You ready?
Yep.
Okay, you said you broke something, so I didn't know.
I fixed it. I think.
All right. Yes, Kentucky Kingdom opened on May 23rd, 1987 on a plot of land 10 acres long. That doesn't make 10 acres long, guys. Just in case you're wondering. All right.
How many acres was it?
It's 10 acres long.
Everybody watching the live stream will never forget that Kentucky Kingdom opened on 10 acres of land.
And if they do,
pound it into your head by now.
Embed it into your mind, encrypt it into your mind. All right. I'm going to say it one more time just for... all right. Kentucky Kingdom opened on May 23rd, 1987 on a plot of land 10 acres big.
On a 10-acre plot of land.
10 acres big. It was a 10-acre big plot of land there. Oh boy. Oh boy. Yes, Kentucky Kingdom opened to the public on May 23rd, 1987 on a plot of land 10 acres long. I don't even know why I can't say that. Why can I not say it? I don't understand, Bob. I don't get it. It's this is crazy. Oh my god.
I need to switch ears.
All right. You ready?
Ta-da! Now you're on my other side.
Oh my god, you're killing me. I started recording. You went ta-da right when I did. Oh god. I hope you guys watching the live stream find some quality content in this. Yes, Kentucky Kingdom opened to the public on May 23rd, 1987 on a 10-acre plot of land, and it was just an extension of the Kentucky Fair. One of the original rides was a roller coaster named Star Chaser, and yeah, that's pretty cool, right? God, I don't even know what I'm talking about.
Were you throwing it to me or?
Nope, I don't know what I'm talking about. I don't even know why I read the thing about
Okay.
Star Chaser. I don't know what I'm... I guess I'll just...
It hit me and I'm like, wait. First of all, I'm not really sure what Star Chaser was, and secondly, I don't know if he's really throwing it to me or not.
I just need to read this real quick.
What's the link? I haven't.
I'm just on the Wikipedia page, honestly.
Oh.
I'm just looking at what it says here. I don't want to
If you're
read...
a podcast user, go read the Wikipedia page because James can't.
All right, so it opened and then closed, and then Ed Hart bought it. Oh, I did not know that. All right, so there we go. You ready?
Sure.
Yes, Kentucky Kingdom opened to the public on May 23rd, 1987 on a plot of land 10 acres long. Nah. Nah. Nah.
Type it out.
No, we're not doing that again. This is the, what was it? Stop smoking thing.
Yeah, something like that.
Looks like you cut the wrong week to stop smoking or whatever.
Oh yeah, yeah, for
Oh, boy.
Hollywood Nights.
All right, here we go. If I can't get it right, you're just going to do the intro.
Oh man.
Yes, Kentucky Kingdom opened to the public on May 23rd, 1987 on a plot of land of 10 acres. And the park started out as a extension of this Kentucky State Fair. It then soon closed, though, and actually was bought in 1989 by Ed Hart, the now owner. However, a lot of things happened before Ed Hart would regain ownership, as he would own it from 1989 to 1997. They'd add a lot of attractions, a lot of rides. T3, or now what was then called T2, opened while he was there. Also, Twisted Twins, which was their racing wooden coaster, would open up. Also, Chang, their stand-up roller coaster, would open up while he was there, which is now at Six Flags Great Adventure, I believe. Or Six Flags Great Adventure. It operates as Green Lantern now. However, in 1998, Six Flags would buy Kentucky Kingdom.
Yep. Right before the ill-fated
demise of their chain. In 2010, they would...
Six Flags.
Yeah, in 2010, they would sell it off, or actually, they would close it down. However, it would be revived, and Ed Hart would buy Kentucky Kingdom again in 2012 and reopen it in 2014. It's had a long and tough history, but this park came through it and is a great park. Me and Bob have both been there. Actually, we're there on the same trip, and I rather enjoyed the park. I had some very high expectations. I don't know if it necessarily met those expectations.
Well,
It
it
was
was
a-
kind of hard for us because we were coming off of the Hollywood Nights high as we
Yeah,
visited.
that is very accurate.
That's one aspect of it. But I mean, Lightning Run.
Oh,
That's all you have to say with Kentucky Kingdom
Yeah.
is Lightning Run.
Lightning Run is the Chance GTX Hypercoaster, and it is the only one in the world, which is unbelievable to think about. I don't know why no other park has bought them. I know they're relatively inexpensive and they are great rides, and I it was my favorite ride at the park. And again,
Yeah,
they have what
absolutely.
many people consider to be one of the best RMC, Storm Chaser as well. Which again, maybe that's why I didn't like it. I didn't think Storm Chaser was that great. I thought it was good. I thought it was
I
very
wasn't.
good,
Yeah,
but I
I was
wasn't.
the same way. I actually found Storm Chaser to be a little bit painful.
No, I didn't find anything that bad
At
issue.
least in comparison to other RMCs. I think having rode Twisted Timbers, it's almost like Twisted Timbers is kind of Storm Chaser 2.0 in a sense.
Mm.
There's a lot of similarities, but the new trains I think make a big difference. That's what I had. Like I had a lot of pain, like just from hitting the restraint. Not like it was just around my legs and like I don't know. It was just like it was kind of pinching too. It was just a weird feeling.
And the ironic
Um,
thing is, you didn't find any pain on T3, which I think everyone pretty
I
much
love
universally
T3.
agrees upon.
I love. I honestly at Kentucky Kingdom, I really people are gonna think I'm nuts, but Lightning Run and T3 are probably my top rated coasters in that park. I know I'm in the minority on that, but I love T3. It was a lot of fun, and
I have to
I was
say,
expecting to hate it.
I'm not on the crazy train on that one. I am, I am definitely still a Storm Chaser Lightning Rod top two at the park for me. But I again was soundly let down by Storm Chaser. I had gone in envisioning Twisted Timbers, on steroids because that's what I've heard. I've heard that it is one of the best RMC roller coasters, and it really did not live up to the hype. And again, this was it was June, so I mean it was summer. It was warm. It was not a cold day or anything like that. It just wasn't. I don't. It was no way, shape, or fashion is it a bad ride. It's a fantastic ride. But again, comparing it to other RMCs, I just did not find it to live up to the standards that I thought it was going to. I thought it was going to be potentially, top three RMC, up there with
Yeah,
Steel Vengeance and Lightning Rod, and up there with Twisted Timbers. Even I thought maybe it would beat Twisted Timbers, but I did not even consider it anywhere close to Twisted Timbers. It's still in my top 25 favorite roller coasters, top 35, I think, top 25, top 35, somewhere in there. But Twisted Timbers is in my top 10, so that's just
yeah.
how
I
I
mean,
how I
Storm
gauge
Chaser
that.
definitely is a great ride. I enjoyed it.
And
I just
I
don't
highly
think.
recommend anyone who has not ridden it to definitely get out to Connect Kingdom and ride it. I'm not saying because I know there's
Oh
so many
yeah,
people
absolutely.
so many people love it, so many people enjoy it and love it. So there's definitely an audience out there that thinks this is one of the best RMCs out there. So maybe we didn't get a good ride on it, but again, we rode it. What was it? We rode it that Friday, and also that I rode it that Sunday as well. Sunday and Friday I rode it. So I found no issues with
I was there on the Sunday actually.
yeah. All
After
right, yeah. So I found no issues. It wasn't the day I was there or anything like that because I again rode it the day that Friday as well. So I rode it. I gave it a day to rest on Saturday even, and then rode it on Sunday again. So I don't know. It just didn't. And another ride that didn't live up to the hype there was Kentucky Flyer. I don't
See,
know.
I liked it. I
I
had a
liked
lot of
it
fun
too.
with
I
it.
know. I know. I loved. I was a. It was. I didn't love it. It was a good ride. It was not a bad ride by any means, but it definitely did not live up to the expectations of the show. One sec.
All right. People on the live stream want to see my
All right.
shirt, so we'll see if I can do this. Hopefully you're able to see make that out. It's kind of hard for me to see behind me.
Oh boy. All right. Who had to rest fire? I don't. I liked it too. I know. I loved. I was a. It was. I didn't love it. It was a good ride. It was not a bad ride by any means, but it definitely did not live up to the expectations of the show.
People in the live stream were asking about my shirt. I was showing them. Hopefully they saw it. My luck is the video skipped and they saw me just before I turned around and after I turned around. And are your headphones even on?
Yes, they're on.
Okay. You're just ignoring me. Awesome.
No, what was my response supposed to be to that? You gave me like 1 second to respond.
I don't know.
You didn't even give me a second to.
I wonder what is with this video. It is kind of bugging me. Like I want to know. I want to go to the data center. Except that YouTube's not a customer, so I can't. But
All right, so I was saying how Kentucky Fried didn't live up to the expectations. One sec.
Sorry, good night.
Yeah, I'll be right back again. All right.
all right,
If you want to show them your shirt.
yeah, I'll try again. Hopefully, that's visible. I can't hear any feedback, and I can't see because my neck hurts. But
All right. Let's go on the
hopefully
road.
that's hopefully my video is not skipping right over.
Do what?
I was saying hopefully the video's not.
That
Oh,
Friday as
hand
well.
sanitizer.
And another ride that didn't
I'm
live
sat on
up
my
to the hype
hand
there was.
sanitizer. This stuff is gold, man. I'm almost gonna start accepting this as payment from my customers.
I like how everyone's saying T3 is awful in the comments.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
it must be lagged really bad.
What do you mean?
Well, they're just talking about T3 now. We were talking about so.
Yeah, possibly. All right, let's go. Kentucky Flyer means, but it definitely did not live up to the expectations of the. I don't know where to come in now. Bad ride by any means, but it definitely did not live up to the hype. There was Kentucky Flyer. I don't know. I liked it too. I know. I loved. I didn't love it. It was a good ride. It was not a bad ride by any means. All right, I said it's not a bad ride by any means. I can just jump in right there. All right, you ready?
Yeah.
I just don't know what it is. I thought going into it that Kentucky Flyer would be this fantastic, awesome gravity group coaster. I knew obviously it was a family coaster, so I wasn't expecting crazy amounts of ejector or anything like that. I wasn't, going in with that kind of mindset. I was expecting something along the lines of Invader, a little bit better than Invader. And I don't know, I was severely underwhelmed by it. I don't know what it was about the ride. But it was definitely not a bad ride. I enjoyed it. It was fun. But I don't know.
I think I maybe expected airtime, but I found it fun and I really enjoyed it.
But the thing is, I wouldn't
I'd say
really.
it's probably my fourth. I would probably list Lightning Run, T3, Storm Tracer, and then Kentucky Flyer.
Well, I would rank mine differently.
Skater.
I would probably rank my coasters there listed off. But the thing with Kentucky Flyer, I would say Kentucky Flyer. I went and rode Switchback as EDTs, and I absolutely loved it. And I mean that those things are. I know Switchback is more of a aggressive coaster, but I mean in terms of stats, they're pretty similar. I know in terms of how they're marketed, Switchback's kind of marketed as.
Have the same trains.
It does have the same trains. Yes, it has the Timberliner trains. So
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know.
If you look at, just watching the POV, you see that Switchback is just designed a lot more intense.
I mean, it does a lot of the same things. It has like those rapid fire airtime moments, and there are some tighter turns, I guess, but still,
it's a lot tighter. I mean, it's like 90 degrees in that one turn.
Yeah, but that didn't really. That wasn't the point of the ride that really impressed me with Switchback. It was the airtime actually, and that was what kind of let me down with Kentucky Flyer. So I don't know. I don't know.
Well,
Maybe
so here's something I'm curious about, and you probably have no idea. What is the do you know what the height requirement of Switchback is?
have
Is
no
it
clue. Again, no one. I know. I don't think any enthusiast
I know
that I know of pays
because
attention
I
to
have a niece and nephew. That's
that.
in a couple years I won't know either.
Yeah,
But it makes me wonder if that's what like the design. If you design the heels not to have so much airtime, um, maybe that's what brings the height requirement down. Because Kentucky Flyer has a really low. I actually don't remember the exact height requirement, but it's lower. It is lower than 48 inches, I believe. I'm
bringing it
almost
back to
positive.
ranking my Kentucky Kingdom coasters, now, I'd probably rank mine in the order of Lightning Run, Storm Chaser, Thunder Run, Kentucky Flyer, Roller Skater T3.
Oh my god.
I'm not
I
kidding.
got to admit, roller skater's kind of a cool
It was
shirt.
actually pretty fun. Yeah, and it's Vekoma, so I mean, come on, it's pretty cool to see. I mean, that's very rare to see. I enjoyed Roller Skater actually. It was kind
Oh,
of
what, are you sure it's Vekoma?
it's a Vekoma, yeah, it's a Vekoma roller skater roller coaster, yeah.
Huh.
And
I thought it was in Perla.
nope, it's Vekoma, which is pretty awesome in a sense of it's T3's a Vekoma, this is a Vekoma, and the best Vekoma at Kentucky Kingdom is Roller Skater. So, um,
Wow, there have been 112 Vekoma boosters.
really, are they all
Wow.
still operational?
Uh, there's 6 pages of them. Everything on the first page, everything on the second page. One was relocated.
All right. Well,
Uh,
I thought they were more unique than that, but
they're
all right.
all
I guess they're not.
they're apparently not.
They're not unique at all, actually. So never mind.
No,
I still think roller skate is great though.
it
Yeah,
is a
it
fun
was a
coaster.
fun little ride. I also liked Thunder Run quite a bit. That was a wooden coaster designed by Curtis D. Summers, and it was a fun ride. It takes the mirrored image of Hurler. It takes the same layout of it takes the mirrored layout of Hurler, which was once at King's Dominion and is at Carowinds still. But it takes it in like a backwards order. It's kind of ironic. It's almost like they mirrored it in a sense that it is flipped. It's strange. It takes the same layout but just kind of backwards. It's weird to word it. I don't know.
And it's a lot better.
It's a lot better.
And I think that's probably just because of maintenance.
They've been doing a lot of
Uh,
track work. Yeah, I believe
yeah,
it might have been RMC that did the track work for Thunder Run. If it wasn't RMC, it was a pretty well known manufacturing firm that came in and redid a lot of the track on Thunder Run. So I mean, it makes a lot of sense. It's a very good ride. It produced some very nice moments of airtime. It was smooth. It was good.
yeah. It definitely was it. I wasn't really expecting much out of it, to be honest. Thunder Run, because Hurler just didn't do anything for me at King's Dominion, so I wasn't expecting much. But it did actually end up being a lot better. Um, I don't know. I kind of like the uniqueness of Kentucky Flyer, which is why I kind of like. I think I put it above. But the other thing about my list is they're all kind of really close together. You
Yeah,
know,
this is
a lot of parks you have that one that's like so much, better than the others, but like they're all really close at Kentucky Kingdom.
yeah. They definitely have a solid collection for such a small collection of roller coasters. They have a good collection of roller coasters. I would say there's not a bad ride there other than T3, obviously. Other than that, I think every ride here is pretty great. And,
And I would say there is not a bad ride there.
and I think
There,
99.9% of everyone that ever lived
I
would
know.
disagree, but
Well, Kentucky Kingdom even memes it. Like
yeah, they admit that it's a
known
bad
thing,
ride.
most people hate it, but I don't know. I very much enjoyed it. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, it was an interesting ride. It was strange. It was the restraints that really did it for me. I didn't find the ride itself that bad, but the restraints were terrible. They like completely choked me the entire ride. I don't know. It was strange. It was a little rough as well, but I can put up with some roughness. I don't mind roughness here and there, but the restraints were terrible, and the combination of those two things really just added to one of the worst coaster experiences I've had. So again, I will be up for riding it again when I get to Kentucky Kingdom again. I'll try to re-ride everything and see if I can change any opinions and thoughts on the rides, but I did not I did not enjoy T3 at all. All right, so we're going to take a bit of a break now, and when we return, we're going to talk about some of our favorite park memories. We all have those park memories, and I don't even know what that means. Obviously, we all have park memories. If you remember yourself at a park, you have a park memory.
I don't remember ever being in a park.
All right, I'm going to redo that again. We're going to take a bit of a break now, but when we return, me and Bob are going to talk about memories that we have at parks. Me and Bob have been over... Hiya!
Hiya!
What am I even talking about? All right, let me redo that. You didn't think this would be the section I get caught up on, would it?
I don't know. You're really good at getting caught up tonight.
I know, this is crazy. We're going to take a bit of a break, and when we return, we're going to talk about some of our favorite park memories that we have. I guess that's okay.
Sure.
I'm going to redo that. I don't like that.
Okay. Hey, James. Great idea. You should redo that. That's an awesome.
Yay. Okay, now I'm going to get it good. All right. Now we're going to take a bit of a break, and when we return, we're going to talk about some of our favorite theme park memories. That's much better.
Sounds.
What?
I said it sounds good.
Does it sound great?
Yeah.
Amazing, yes. Love it. All right.
Man, the live stream is so far behind, it's ridiculous. YouTube servers are just like crying.
Yeah, I don't know. Tell them we're like done with the podcast.
I on the chat I told them I was talking to them from the 42 inches is the height requirement for 42 inches is for Switchback, 40 inches for Kentucky Flyer. That's impressive.
Yeah.
Wow. Switchback's 42 inches.
I want to see where the live stream's at.
Huh?
I'm going to see where the live stream's at.
It's on YouTube.
We're still talking about Thunder Run. Jeez. Yeah, it's way behind.
I know. It's like really, really behind.
All right. Let's move on, though. Yeah, Pam texted me like 5 minutes ago and was like, she was like, she said, what was it? I was getting stuck on?
Oh, I don't remember.
On a 10-acre plot of land. She texted me that like 5 minutes ago, and I'm like, that was like 20 minutes ago.
That's when she was hearing it.
All right. So we're not really live. We're like 20 minutes behind.
Well, I don't think it's 20 minutes, but yeah.
It's like 5
Which
or
makes
10.
me wonder, like, I want the live stream will be, like, if you watch it after, if it'll actually be smooth or if it'll still be jerky like this.
Probably still jerky.
Well,
All
it
right.
depends. If this is an issue of YouTube servers encoding it, then it might actually, I don't know. It's hard to say.
Possibly. All right, you ready?
Let's do it. Wait, what are we doing?
Park memories.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
I'll start off. And we're back. Now we're going to be discussing our favorite theme park memories. We have a couple listed off here that we're going to run through, and then... I don't like that. I don't like that at all. No, we don't.
And then there's a grand finale. I'm going to take my bike up on the roof and make my own roller coaster.
Ta-da!
I want to ride a roller coaster.
All right. Here we go. And we're back. Me and Bob have been to over 20 different parks and ridden over 200 roller coasters, both of us individually. And so we thought it would be fitting to tell you some of the stories that we've had in our couple of years of adventure. La la la, tra la la. I cannot get out a coherent sentence tonight. This is
You
insane.
can't talk at all.
I keep like mumbo.
Forgot how to talk.
What am I? I have good ideas in my head and they just won't come out.
No, they're coming out. They're just not coming out in the right order.
Tomorrow in the morning time, we're going to dance to fairy music.
I don't know what the hell you're talking about, but it's hilarious.
We're high. We're high. We're high. Whew. I bet you half the people watching this are like, are these guys like on acid when they record this or what?
And we're genuinely not.
We generally are. Oh boy. All right. And we're back. Me and Bob both have visited over 20 different parks and ridden over 200 roller coasters, and we thought it'd be fitting to tell you guys some of the stories that we've had on our years of theme park adventures. I'm going to start off, and I'm going to tell you guys about the first roller coaster I ever rode. So imagine this. It's a summer day. It's August, I believe, and you're at King's Dominion. If any of you that's not been to King's Dominion, you can't imagine it. But just try to imagine you're at King's Dominion. Even if you've never been, just imagine some fake park. But you're at a park.
If you live close to Kings Island, it's just like that, only not the same at all.
Just stick with me here, guys. You're at King's Dominion, and I'm with my dad, and we're sitting there, and a lot of you guys probably realize this, but a lot of us are not fan of roller coasters when we were young. A lot of us did not like them. We didn't think they were good. We were scared of them. We had these absurd fears of them, but we did like going and we did like interacting with theme park atmospheres. I loved going to theme parks. I liked riding the log flume. I liked walking around the park, looking at different cool theming elements and stuff like that, but I didn't like riding the roller coasters. So my dad says to me, you know what, James, I've been taking you to King's Dominion all summer long, and you don't ride any of the coasters. And I'm not gonna bring you back because I'm wasting my money here. We're just riding the log flume and we're just walking around. There's no need for this. This is absurd. If you're gonna get on a coaster, and I'm like, no, I'm not getting on a coaster. There's no way. And then of course he does say he gives the big threat. We're not ever gonna come back to this park ever again if you don't get on a coaster. And I'm like, oh crap. So maybe I do get on a coaster. So I get on Rebel Yell. I'm in the back row, and I'm riding. And I remember going up the lift hill. I'm so mad at my dad. I'm infuriated at my dad. So upset with him, as many of you probably were if you were forced to ride a roller coaster. So mad. And I'm sitting on the ride, and we're going up, and I'm like, oh my God, I'm gonna die. I'm gonna die. This is the end of my life. It's over. The world's gonna end. That kind of, the normal day-to-day thoughts. And we crest the lift hill, and we go down the drop, and I was in love. I have to say. I was so in love with the ride. I thought it was fantastic. But what I did is, for the continuation of that summer, I was so upset with my dad for making me ride it that I just pretended that I didn't like them. I was like, I don't like them. They suck. I hate them. They're awful. And later that next summer, my cousin would get me on a couple of attractions at Busch Gardens Williamsburg. I was still in that phase of I don't want to ride anything. But my cousin would then at Busch Gardens Williamsburg get me on some rides. And then I would get on Alpengeist. I would get on Apollo's Chariot. I would get on Loch Ness Monster. I would go back to King's Dominion. I would ride Intimidator 305. And the theme park enthusiast that you now know was born. So I know a lot of us probably have similar stories to that. Your first coaster. That's just mine. Again, I know it seems like it's a common trait among enthusiasts that we just didn't like coasters as children. I feel like everybody.
There's a lot of coaster enthusiasts were afraid of them.
like
Most actually would they would actually like go to the parks and they would love watching the coasters. But they wouldn't actually.
That was totally me. And I would take paper and I would draw maps and I would draw rides. I mean, I have probably a binder full, if not more, of maps that I used to draw as a kid, and probably 25% to 30% of the drawings I drew ended up in the trash and I don't have. So I'm telling you, I have at least 10,000 pages of roller coaster maps that I designed and roller coaster blueprints and theme park maps. It's crazy. I would love designing them. I would love coloring them in. I would love making cool, unique names for them. I would design the same park, but during Christmas time. And, I'd have the Christmas trees throughout the park, and I'd have Halloween stuff up throughout the park for Halloween. I was that committed to it, but I just didn't want to ride them. It was crazy. It just seems crazy to me. But yeah,
I drew
that's the
pinball
mindset I had.
machines when I was little. That's literally what I did. I drew the ramps and bumpers and like that was my obsession. But there were a few times I drew like I don't remember exactly how I did it, but I would draw like roller coaster like I don't know. I don't know how you'd explain it. But yeah, it's kind of neat how when you're a kid, like things look so different. And actually, you remember like being scared of them, and they were actually more exciting, and you couldn't appreciate that butterfly feeling back then.
It's
And then you get
strange.
to our point, and it's
Yeah.
like, why can't I get the butterflies? Like I want to be scared to death. Like come on.
The only thing that does that now is drop towers for me.
Yeah, drop
But
tower,
it's just
sky
strange that
coaster.
something that you hate as a child can become your passion and your hobby as an adult.
Yeah,
Not
and
even
it's
as an
funny
adult,
how
as a
it's like
teen.
it's such a consistent thing. Like there's so many coaster enthusiasts that were like that.
Yeah,
It's really interesting.
it's really intriguing. Yes.
So I'll give a one of my memories that I really enjoyed was actually the first time that I took my niece on Phantom's Revenge. And this was one of the scariest moments of my life, I think, in a very weird way. I took my niece to Kennywood, and we were like she was good with riding the coasters and stuff, but like it was kind of funny because she had like when we would talk about coasters at home or at my parents, she would kind of be afraid of certain things, um, like the bigger things, you know. But
Mm-hmm.
we
Yeah.
were just walking through the park. We had rode the Jackrabbit. She loved it. We rode Racer. We were there actually on the um, last weekend of Logjammer, and I remember like she was like we Logjammer kept breaking down, and we would wait on you screwed me up. We're gonna have to start that.
You said like 18 times in the past like 5 seconds.
I know, and as soon as you said it, like I couldn't get over.
Do you want me to restart? Like
Yeah,
retelling that story?
yeah. Let's just do that.
All right, let me find where you started.
Like the bigger things, you know. But we were
It was like, yeah, and oh yeah, and then we were like, and I'm like, oh, all right.
my brain was going a lot faster, remembering things that yeah,
I hadn't
and
thought
it's
of
funny.
before.
Yeah, and it's funny how it's like it's such a consistent thing. Like there's so many coaster enthusiasts that were like that. It's really interesting. So I'll give a one of my memories.
All right, so you can start over. Just saying whatever you want. All right, you ready?
Yep.
So you're starting over from, this is the first. I said, yeah, that's
Yeah.
interesting about my story, and now you're transitioning into your story. All right, ready? Here we go.
So one of my favorite memories was when I took my niece to Kennywood when she was just getting into coasters, and she had those things that she was afraid of. You know, the bigger rides, and she wouldn't go on them.
Mm-hmm.
But we were walking around, and she was so excited to ride. We rode Jackrabbit. She loved it. We went over to Logjammer. This was the last weekend that Logjammer was open, and it kept breaking down. So we went to Logjammer. They closed the line right in front of us. So I said, "Hey, let's ride Racer." We went to Racer. As we're going up the lift hill, I hear Piper say, "Hey, the Logjammer's open." And I swear to you, I don't think she remembers any of that ride because she was just so excited to go get on the Logjammer. And we got off and ran around, and oh, guess what? It had closed again. Eventually,
Oh.
later made it back. But the funny thing was, I said, let's go back to Lost Kennywood to ride Exterminator. I was a dummy because I forgot she hates dark things, but
Mm-hmm.
we didn't actually make it there at that time. We walk under Phantom's Revenge, and it drops down over top of us, and she goes, "Well, what's that?" And I said, "That's Phantom's Revenge." Now, mind you, we went to this park, and I had no like no inkling at all that we were going to go on Fam's. Like, I was probably not even going to mention it, or I might mention it later. But here she is saying, "What's that?" And I said, "Well, that's Phantom's Revenge."
Hmm.
And she said, "Am I tall enough for it?" I said, "Yeah." "Do you want to ride it?" She said, "Yeah, I think so." Well, at this point, I was like, I'm not giving her time to second guess this. Like, we're going straight to the
Sprinting to the line.
Sprinting to
I'm
the
sure I
line.
wouldn't be surprised if you. I wouldn't be surprised to see you picking her up and just running to the entrance.
It was similar. I didn't pick her up. I don't think I did. But it was very
Grabbing
much
her
like,
by the wrist and just dragging her. Let's go.
and like we're in line, and you know how it's the queue for Phantom's Revenge is just like across the whole. It's not. There's some switchbacks at the beginning, but the main part of the queue is just a long straight line to the station. And we're in line, and she's just watching this thing, and I'm totally expecting her to go, "Oh my god!" Like, no, we're not. Completely back out, freak out. No, we're in the station.
Yep.
She's watching it. She's just focused on it, watching it dive through the Thunderbolt, watching the little bunny hops, and I'm like, when is this kid gonna chicken out? I was totally expecting it. No, we get in the train, and she's ready to go, and all of a sudden, me, who is not afraid, I've taken her on many coasters before this. I'm not afraid of anything with her because I know safety restraints are designed, and I still know this in the back of my mind, except the way Phantom's Revenge is set up, the seatbelt is above the contour of the seat. And obviously the lap bar isn't really a lap bar, it just kind of hovers above everybody, most people. And I put the seatbelt on her, and I realized the seatbelt doesn't even make contact to her at all. The lap bar doesn't, like, nothing is touching her at all. And I'm going, oh my God, she's going to just fly. Like, there's that part of my brain that's saying, no, it's tested, and it's Kennywood where they don't always check height. So I guarantee you there's been shorter kids on this ride than there were supposed to be, and they all survived. So she's fine. But then there's that visual part of me that's saying there's nothing touching her. Oh my God. So now all of a sudden I'm the one scared. She's still fine. And we're climbing the lift hill, and we're halfway up, and she says, "Are we almost there yet?" And I'm thinking, oh God, here we go. I said, "No, we're about halfway up." She said, "Oh, okay." And I'm like just flabbergasted at what's going on. We drop her on the first drop, come up over the top, and then obviously the big drop. I look over, my niece on like a rag doll. I mean, she is just flying all over this car. Now I'm switching from okay, she's not going to fly out, but this is it. She's never going to ride another roller coaster again in my life. She's never going to get on another coaster. It's all over with. We go through the ride, we hit the brake run, and I look over at her, and her eyes are as big as I've ever seen a child's eyes in my life. And I look and I say, "Are you okay?" And I said, "Did you like it?" And she like still couldn't talk, so she just put 2 thumbs up. And I was just in shock. I couldn't believe it. She loved it. She got off that ride. She said that was one of her favorite rides ever. I was just flabbergasted just watching her bounce all over the place. I'm paranoid. But man, it was just a really.
It's like something out of a movie almost.
Yeah, it is, and it's so weird because I'm the one that's like, my sister is always the one that's panicked about everything. Like if she won't even ride with my niece, because like she's just that paranoid. So like the times she made this agreement that if she was gonna ride a coaster with Piper, I have to ride it with Piper first, and then if everything goes okay, then my sister will ride with. So. It's just like she's the one that's usually like that, and I'm the one that's like, no, it's safe, like it's designed that way. And like this was the first time that I had an inkling of, oh my God,
almost like a parental instinct kicked in.
Yeah. And right now I know like she's hit 54 inches, so this year she'll be able to ride pretty much anything. And the only thing going through my mind is Sky Rush. I don't know if I can deal with that. I don't know if I can deal with that at all. It's just going to scare the crap out of me.
Another good story to come then.
Yes, we might have another one to come.
Well, speaking of Kennywood, my first enthusiast trip, well, somewhat enthusiast. This is when I actually started riding coasters. I wanted to travel to different parks around the country. I don't know if I'd consider myself an enthusiast yet because I didn't know there was an enthusiast community, but I had that passion for roller coasters. I went to Kennywood, and I also went to Cedar Point, but first I went to Kennywood, and I did all the rides and attractions, and of course I loved them. I'd done Intamin 305, I'd done Alpengeist, Apollo's Chariot, Loch Ness. I'd done all the big coasters in Virginia, so it wasn't like, Phantom's Revenge was that big or anything like that. It was a great ride. I loved it, but it wasn't anything new to me. I'd ridden coasters that tall and that fast. And I did Jackrabbit. I did Thunderbolt. I love the park. I thought it was a really cool park. I still love the park. I love the traditional appeal it has. But the big part of the trip was going to Cedar Point. That was the main purpose of this trip, was to go to Cedar Point. The roller coaster capital of the world. I pull up, and I'm like, holy crap, this place it's literally an island. I had not known that. I had not been there before. I was like, this is literally a roller coaster island. It is nothing but that. There's just roller coasters as far as the eye can see. We're driving up the causeway, and I'm like, holy crap, this place is like the paradise for people like me that want to ride roller coasters all the time, and it is. That's what it is. That is what Cedar Point is. And so we drive around, and you drive around the back way, because I was staying at Hotel Breakers, and I mean, that place is in itself extraordinary. They have a freaking resort on that island that is awesome. You can go we actually ended up going to the beach that they have there, which is part of Lake Erie. And I mean, that's pretty awesome that you have a freaking beach at a theme park. But regardless of that, we pull up, we go in the resort, we check it out. It's awesome. And I look out my window, and there's Top Thrill Dragster staring at me. And I'm like, oh man, that's a pretty tall roller coaster. I remember taking a picture of it. I posted it on one of my social media platforms, and I'm like, that's the tallest roller coaster in the world, which it obviously was not. But I said that, and I was like, it's taller than a 7305, which is correct. But I was posting all these like snarky, like, look at me, I get to ride this awesome ride, and I'm like, man, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to ride that though. I don't know. So we go around, we do everything. I do Gatekeeper, I do Wicked Twister, I do. Valravn just opened that year. I think this is 2016. So Valravn, we waited like 2 hours for that, because that literally it was opening year for that, which I can't imagine now waiting for Valravn 2 hours. But I did that. I rode, I believe, Blue Streak. I got that out of the way. I got most of the front of the park out of the way. And then I walk up to Top Thrill Dragster, and I'm like, I don't know. So I do it. I get in line, and I get on the ride. And man, I loved it. It was great. It was such a fantastic ride. I got front row. My first ride, I'm like, you know what? Screw it. I'm going to go front row. I was scared to death. I mean, I was probably shaking, but I loved the ride. I mean, even my mom, she's an adult. It makes sense for me to be scared as a kid, but I mean, it makes sense now, and looking back on it as an enthusiast, that, yeah, people are going to be scared of that attraction. But even my mom was also scared. It was not just me getting on this ride scared.
Oh, yeah.
So
that's what Top Thrill Dragster does.
Exactly. And I mean, I loved it. I rewrote it so many times after that. But the funny thing was that, getting launched the first time, I think like maybe 800 flies landed on me. That's an estimate, of how many insects landed on my face.
Yes.
I thought at first that, something was like flying off the ride or something. I thought maybe like the paint was peeling or something. I'm like, what the heck? It was like slapping me in the face, and I'm like, what the heck? But
you hadn't learned the thing about Cedar Point at the time, the mayflies and the bugs. You
get a great view of Lake Erie and a great atmosphere and everything like that, but you have to put up with the mayflies and the bugs and all that slapping you in the face.
And the seagulls.
Yeah, Cedar Point was an exceptional park. That was my first enthusiast trip. I remember, I remember thinking, like, how can there be such an awesome park that I'd never known about? It's just strange, because general public people, they don't realize. I mean, there's parks all over the country, but there's so many people that don't realize that. I mean, if you ask so many people, it's Busch Gardens and Kings Dominion around here. Those are the two parks that everyone knows. That's it.
Six Flags America.
Maybe Six Flags America. Maybe.
Well, I guess I'm closer.
Yeah, you're closer.
I'm more on that side.
In your instance, yes, Six Flags America. But in my instance, some people might not even know about Busch Gardens Williamsburg, because that's 45 minutes down the road south. but it's Kings Dominion, maybe Busch Gardens, Williamsburg, maybe Six Flags America. Other than that, there's nothing. So it was crazy for me to go to this park, and it's like, not only is there another park out here, but there's a park that's larger, better, and it has all these coasters that my home park doesn't have. It was like learning that there's another planet in the solar system inhabited by humans or something. It's like, wait a second, there's other people out there. There's another place out there that's just as great as Earth or whatever. It's just like that, and it was so amazing. I remember just being unable to put into words how I was feeling at the time, because it was just incredible. Yes, Kennywood was great, and Kennywood in its own right is a great park, but Cedar Point was the park that transformed me into what I am now, an enthusiast. Kennywood, I had a great time at. I had fun at. Cedar Point really was like where I was like, I'm home.
Yeah,
I finally
I have
made
a
it.
quick Top Thrill Dragster story before I get to my next memory. When I went there, I think it was like 2005. It was like a couple years after Top Thrill Dragster opened, and I went with my girlfriend at the time, and I mean, I was a coaster enthusiast, not to the level I am now, but I was that.
You were an adrenaline junkie.
Yeah, that's more of the yeah. So I was riding Top Thrill, and I said, "Hey, will you ride this with me?" And she said, "No, but I'll wait in line with you. I'll let so we could talk while you're in line, And we got up to this to get on the line. I'm my heart's pounding, and all of a sudden she's just like she had said how scared she was of this, and she's like, "There's no way." But I don't know, something clicked, and she just decided to sit down. And I mean, sitting on that launch, we were both like, "Oh my god, oh my god!" Oh. Like it was just petrifying. And I just remember like we launched, and at the end of the ride, like she grabbed my hand, and she was just like ecstatic. It was like one of the best things she ever did. She was so happy that she got on that ride, and that's kind of like Top Thrill Dragster does that. There's a ton of people I know that won't ride it. They're scared of it, but I don't think I know anybody that has rode it and has not enjoyed it. I think everybody I know that has got on it.
It is like a
Loves
drug. It is like a
Yeah,
drug.
it is.
The adrenaline you get after riding that coaster is like, I mean, you could run a marathon after that. It's crazy. You just feel so ecstatic, so excited, so happy, so awesome. It is amazing, the feeling of getting off that ride.
Yeah.
And
I'll go. Oh,
that's the sad thing about getting used to coasters is you don't get that feeling as much. But I know
right, exactly.
when I ride rides like that, or when I ride drop towers or whatever, I will get that feeling again. But when I ride Twisted Timbers, when I ride Intamin 305, when I ride Apollo Share, when I ride the rides that I'm used to, I don't get that feeling. And it's different, like when we rode Voyage. I don't know, it was no feeling of like, holy crap.
Right.
You didn't get that feeling, but it was just like, it was a different variation
still
of that.
adrenaline.
It was still adrenaline, but it was a different variation of that feeling. It was just
exactly.
like, it was like, holy crap, this is the best thing ever. But
Yeah. Yeah, and it was. So my next memory, I have to give equal time to my nephew, since I told a memory of my niece. uh,
Aw.
my favorite memory with my nephew, yeah, was when he had just hit 42 inches. We went to Hershey Park, and for those few people out there that might listen to this podcast that actually have kids, once your kid hits 42 inches, Hershey Park is the place to go. There's a lot for them to do. But I, I remember him being so excited because, I mean, he had been living in his sister's shadow, that she was allowed to ride rides, but she would sometimes not want to ride that ride, but she could. And LJ just couldn't. He wasn't able
Yeah.
to. But he was finally 42 inches, and he could ride a lot of the big rides, and it was going to be his first upside down coaster, as we call it, with Super Duper Looper. But first, I want to say about Comet. We went on Comet, and he rode with me, and he was loving it. But his reaction at the end, we hit the brake run, and he kind of like perked up, and he was like looking around like he didn't know what was going on, and he went, "Jeez, that was fast." And it was just it was just a funny thing. Picture this little, I think he was 4 years old at the time, just all of a sudden just like Jeez, that was fast. It was hilarious. But Super Duper Looper is the real kicker. I loved when we rode this. Uh, for anybody that didn't start riding coasters until they were older, there is a phenomenon on especially the older looping coasters like the Schwarzkopfs, where and adults could get this to an extent, but I think we naturally resist it. But a kid, if they do not actively hold their head back against the headrest going through a loop, they will like your chin will get locked against your chest and your head is bent down the whole way through the inversion and there's nothing you can do about it. I remember that happened to me on laser when I was younger. There's a phenomenon, just it happens. So I told my nephew, I said, the thing you have to remember is uh, to make sure you hold your head against the headrest. Just push your head back when we go through the loop. And after the loop, it's fine. You can do whatever. But as we're going through the loop, you have to push your head back. And I remember he was excited. He couldn't wait to get on. And then we started climbing the lift hill, and he started getting a little bit nervous. And as soon as we went to drop off the hill, I said, "Okay, LJ, remember, hold your head back." And we drop off and we start through the loop, and I look over and his chin is firmly planted against his chest. And we go through the loop and we come up to the top of the next hill. And he went, "Uncle Bob, I tried so hard, but I couldn't keep my head back." He loved the ride anyway. Couldn't wait to ride it again. We rode it again. This time, he kept his head back, and we got to the top of the second hill, and he was ecstatic. Uncle Bob, I kept my head back. I kept my head back that time. It was just so hilarious, and it just like seeing that enjoyment, seeing that excitement. It's awesome.
There's nothing like that.
It's just a really good memory. Yeah.
That's fantastic. And I think it's fitting to close out this little park memory adventure here with a park trip that we both took together, and pretty recently as well. This past October, me and you and a couple of our friends ventured down, or up to Knoebels, actually. I don't know